Hey all, here are OS Reviews. You're watching our video first look, and a quick review of the AOMAIS Go. This is an IPX7 rated stereo Bluetooth speaker that is shaped kind of like a jukebox or a radio. So it's ultra durable and rugged and packs an impressively large 7,200 milliamp hour capacity power bank function into it, so it should work for 30 hours before you need to recharge it again on a single go. Furthermore, it also has 30-watt drivers or speakers, so it gets very loud and also packs a passive radiator for extra oomph in terms of bass. So again, this is something that you would want to use maybe for playing back music in parties and conventions, taking to the beach, and sharing with friends and family. So let's take a closer look at the packaging first. First of all, the Go retails on Amazon for $70. So $70 seems to be the norm these days for larger stereo Bluetooth speakers. We saw that price with the T-Well Retro Rock and with a few others. And so this is a cost that's slightly coming down because in the past, premium large speakers like this would sell for many times more. Again, it's wireless Bluetooth, so you can connect it to your iPhone, to your Android laptop without any wires. Comes in a few different color options. In the packaging, there's the speaker, there's also the charging adapter, which uses simply USB. There's also an auxiliary cable and micro USB cable for charging and power, so you can use a wired device like an MP3 player if you don't need to use Bluetooth. There's also a kind of quick start guide. There's also kind of a help manual that's documenting the features, in addition to a rather large kind of carrying pouch, which you can use to take everything with you in one location. So that's a pretty nice bonus. All right, so taking a look at the design of the speaker first, you can see that it's been labeled here. There's a protective film that you can peel off and remove, but it tells us like this is the power key. There's also volume controls on here, play pause controls, which I can also use to answer or reject a phone call. I can also long hold on the volume keys to skip tracks back and forth. The keys themselves are made out of rubber, and on first impressions have a very tactile sensation to them. It's a lot more clicky than you would expect, so a good sensation even if they're not really pronounced. There's also LED lights that tells you the status when you're using it. Speaker grill here made out of aluminum. Entire body is made out of a polycarbonate soft touch rubber. The grip here is ultra thick and reinforced. It really seems like something that you would find maybe as a instrument kit or as an industrial kind of speaker. So it's very well built, almost like military specified in terms of its design. All right, so the bottom here just has rubber feet. Over here, covered up by a rubber flap to prevent water from getting in, is a microphone input, a very unusual kind of feature, but you can use this as again, a boombox where you can talk into it and it will magnify your voice if you connect an external microphone, which is pretty cool. Again, it already has the capability to answer reject phone calls, so I suspect there is a small built-in microphone if you're using it as a conference speaker, but again, this is just for magnifying your voice. Other side has another rubber flap that covers up the auxiliary input for wired connection to audio, micro USB for charging, and a full-sized USB port to use this as a power bank. Again, 7,500 milliamp hours, so you can technically charge this up and then put it in the car as a backup, and it can charge up your phone, roughly 2 to 3 times before the battery dies. So a nice little extra utility that you get out of this thing. Fully charging up this speaker will take you a little bit of time though, so it took me in my testing close to 4 hours, 4.5 hours. I would definitely leave this overnight or when you have a bit more extra time before expecting it to be completely charged. With that being said, it's operational even when being plugged into power, so you can still listen to music and have it pass through, which is nice. Charging rates is roughly 5 volts, 2 amps, so it's good enough for phones. It's not Qualcomm Quick Charge, but again, it's more of an extra feature, since its main feature here is still going to be audio quality as a Bluetooth speaker.
Powering on.
Now the volume here is only about, less than 30% high, and it's already filling up the space pretty well. Alright, so pausing the music there, you can hear that from that sample. Audio quality is excellent, as expected. There's actually quite a lot of bass. Now, obviously the volume, if turned up higher, will create more of a punch, but this is definitely a bass-heavy speaker. When you set it on a surface, or if you're holding it, the entire thing kind of rattles when you're listening to bass drops and drum beats. So it's going to be something that works quite well for EDM music, for rock music, all those genres. Also gets, again, very loud if you turn it all the way up. So we had to turn it kind of relatively down for it to work well enough in this video. The controls here seem to work nicely as far as not having too much delay when you're tapping on things, like adjusting the volume or pausing the sound. That works well enough. Not too much audio latency either, so the syncing between a video and also the sound seems to be done pretty well. So if you're watching a film, it doesn't get a few seconds ahead. It seems to be matched up without too many problems. So that's pretty much it as far as audio quality. We're definitely impressed with it because of its strong bass, and as far as highs and mids are concerned, it sounds clean. It doesn't necessarily sound as detailed as more expensive speakers. It seems to do the best in terms of mids and lows. With that being said, there's no distortion, there's no static, so even pausing the music, you can hear that there's silence. There's not going to be an annoying hiss, which you can commonly find on a lot of these lower end Bluetooth speakers, but on here, again, it works really quite well. Performance is stable within roughly 10 meters or 33 feet in our testing, so carrying it around a room with the phone left on the table provided no problems at all. The handle is also quite sturdy, so again, it supports the weight of the unit actually pretty nicely. Passive radiator on the back actually is a pretty good placement. At first I thought that would prevent the bass from becoming more prominent, but when sitting on the surface, when listening to the sound, it actually seems quite balanced and does a good job. I think that the left and right channels also sound reasonably separated. There could be maybe slightly more separation if you are listening to something that has movement, for instance, but again, in general, this is just nitpicking. I think for the general audience that this is aimed at, which is people who want to use it when going to the beach, using it as a speaker to take outdoors, something extra rugged to share with friends and family, and more than does the job with good audio performance and a nice extra charging bank functionality. You can check out more details about the AOMAIS Go in our official written review, but for now this has been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews. This has been our video.